Viewers, this is a really cheap, nasty, smelly hairdryer. This thing stinks. 800 watts. 10 amps. 1800 watts, that's about 2400 watts. 2.4 kilowatts, not 1.8 kilowatts. 9 amps. It's pretty powerful. Turn the heating element off. Play that with a pull button on it, and the motor itself uses nothing, it's only a 12-volt motor. Turn the heating element down, turn the heating element off on minimal, halfway, about 6 amps, about 9 amps. Uses 9 amps, that thing. Okay, that's a bit extreme. For a little cheap hairdryer. Coyote brand cord, what's the rating on this? 0.75mm squared cable. Ningbo, that's where it's made, Ningbo, China. Alright, now in there, there's a little bimetallic switch. When this thing gets too hot, that bimetallic switch will open up and trip the circuit out. So in order for us to have some fun with this thing, we're going to have to bypass that and get this thing glowing nice and bright. We'll block the fan. Have some fun. That's just inside the hairdryer. Some cheap plastic. Some insulating stuff here. Mylar paper. Might come useful for something. Main component, everything is just clipped into place. And that body just clamped it together to give it some style on the house of switches. Pretty cheap, pretty nasty, pretty cheap Chinese design. Now, not only do we have a bimetallic switch in there, we have 2 resistors that trip out, or thermal overload, so they're going to have to be bypassed. The main switch there, that will trip out, and if the motor shorts out, that will trip out too, the fuses. Look how cheap this thing is, look how cheap that is. That is a cheap, nasty, stinky, snotty design. On, both are on flat out. Right, let's introduce my safety pallet. This is my safety pallet. Glass fibre plastic. Myo 91, that old is it? No, it can't be. Third Myo 91? No, it can't be that old. Had a bit of forklift tine damage, but that's not to worry, nothing to worry about. Some pretty good nick. Anyway, it's a universal plastic pallet. I'm going to use this to lay. I'll put some heat-proof bricks on top of it. This has been my pallet to isolate off earth to do electrical burnouts on. And also I can use this to stand on when I'm doing mott arcs to earth. So it's better than using you definitely can't use wood pellets. So this is the safest option. Those polystyrene pellets I had, I gave them away to someone because they needed them for lids on the top of their dried fruit bins to keep their dried fruit cool. So I gave them away. So this is my next option. It's probably the best, probably a good little pellet. This it's disposable, but it's the strongest one I can get. Stand on that safely, and I'm off the ground, and it's all insulated plastic. So pretty happy with this. It's my new safety platform to stand on. Anyway, if you can't get a wooden pellet, which you definitely should not use, because wood's going to be conductive of moisture, so try and get yourself one of these heavy duty pellets. This is yeah, as I said, this I don't know what make it is, but it's disposable. It's the best one I can find. Beautiful, look at that. Anyway, it's my safety pallet. I'll line this up here. I'm going to put my heat bricks on top of that, put that on there, and they can sit there and burn out in the open. Hey cat, puss puss puss. Oh, well, it's because you're going to get burnt, so stick out of the way and don't piss on this either, cat. Hey? Smart ass. Lead acids. Keep the vents away from your experiments. That's my lesson. Anyway, power on. Yeah, it's blowing itself away. I'm going to balance that down. I think by the looks of that, it's going to end up burning my pallet. Let's secure that. Okay, plug it back in. And yes, unplug safety first. Or I sort of keep that habit. Keep saying it. There you go, being ballasted, secured down. Alright, but no, it's not going to get any hotter. The fan is still blowing out over it and it wants to go run away. What I'm going to do some modifications. I think this should still work, but basically what I've done, I've taken the motor off out of the circuit. The way the heading element's designed, it's like a toaster element. Potential goes through one end of the coil, back out the other. And this motor, they measure a point in that coil where the voltage climbs up from 0, they climb up to the 12 volt point and they tap this motor off that. It's called a hot potential divider. Quite a nice, cheap way to do it. Kind of like a variac, so if I connected one half of that motor, left it connected, and the other half had a brush, ran it along that coil, that motor would go faster or slower, just like a variac. Pretty much that's all that is. I think that the way it's designed, it may or may not work because the motor's out of the circuit, but if it's in parallel or series, we're about to find out. Yep, 8 amps, it's still connected, it's still on. There we are. It was connected in parallel, now it should trip out. I didn't hear a click, but it tripped out. Alright, unplug safety first. Let's have a look. Okay. They're actually little ferrite tubes with wire wrapped around them. So they're a type of filter inductor, I think, for that motor. And that switch has got an open circuit, so I'm going to have to bypass that. That safety bimetallic switch tripped out. I'm going to have to bypass that and we can start cooking. So that's a safety feature. If your hairdryer blocks up with hair, it won't burn the house down. That'll trip it out and save your life. Let's bypass that. Right, let's plug it back in and release the electrons. Let's do some electricity hooning. Yep, pulling 8 amps. Yeah, the end set's not working. That's where it chips out at. Pop. It's got an open circuit. Okay, unplug safety first. Let's have a look. Oh, smelly, smelly. It stinks. Must have got an open circuit. No, did it? Don't know. Oh, so it gets thicker at one end and thinner. Ah, that's how it works. Okay, it's going to find a weak spot. I'm going to blow like a fuse if it gets too hot. So it tapers the thickness of this gauge of this spring. Interesting. So, whoever solves the inductor there, I wonder if that, what's that going to? The end of that spring. I wonder if that might have popped, melted and got hot. Interesting. Must be there for noise suppression. Alright, one alligator clip there. And then that one will be connected to my power supply, my circuit, and I can just arc it and spark it. Let's just cut these off. I might use those for something and put this across the mott and see what it does. We can arc it out and burn it out that way. Mott and ballast it up, just 400 watts. Just try and remember that mott is de-shunted. Alright. Let's power it up. Power on. Potential, see? Potential's been divided a bit. Now it's open circuit. Also got my old faithful chicken stick pack. Harvester bar from a vine harvester. I cannot find any other where else to get these from. These are hard to get, this particular type of nylon it's made of. Nylon bar, completely safe to use as a chicken stick. If you ever got one of these, use a bit of PVC pipe, but this thing here, this plastic rod's perfect. It's nice and strong, sturdy, and it's safe for this. It's not flimsy. Yep, it arcs to earth just like the good old times. Yeah, 400 watt is a little too low. Oh, that section's gone open. The circuit has opened, and a little something here has gotten a bit hot. Bits of heating element spring there. Yep. Open the buggery. Alright, switch off, unplug safety first. Unplug that. Right, it's all off. Isolated. Ballast is not even warm. MOT is not even warm. There you go. Anyway, that'll be enough for now. Thanks for watching.